everybody. So what we're going to be demonstrating today is a one-length haircut, okay? So our hair's been lovely prepped and shampooed and conditioned. So first of all, what I'm just going to remove is a little bit of moisture from the hair. Paige has got very long, beautiful golden hair here. Right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just brush through to make sure we get any knots out of Paige's hair. So we're going to start off at the bottom and work our way up. Anyone know why we start at the bottom? Yeah, so if we want to start from here, what we'll end up doing is we'll end up pulling out a lot of their hair. So we always make sure we start at the bottom and work our way up, alright? If the hair's thick or a lot of hair that you need to work on, then make sure that you start off on smaller bits before you move up. Okay. So now I'm going to get my comb and my scissors, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a profile parting from the front hairline right through to the centre of her nape, and then I'm going to put in a radial parting from the top ear right through to the other ear, okay? But before I do that, I need to find, well actually no, I'm going to put my radial in first, and then my profile, sorry. So when I do this, I always use my finger on my comb to direct where the comb's actually going, and also it just helps you to get to where you need to be a lot quicker. Otherwise you'll find yourself spending a lot of time trying to actually separate the hair itself, okay? Right, once you've put your profile parting in, a way to find out where to place the radial is to actually just balance the comb on the client's head, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to rock a little seesaw effect, and that will tell you where the actual curvature is. Okay, so we can tell her first curvature is roughly about here on Paige's head, alright? So that's where I'm going to place my radial. So because Paige's hair is so long, also what I don't want to do on Paige is twist it up like this, and then give her what I like to say dog ears when it all flaps over, okay? So you can just twist it so it's nice and neat, okay? And then just let it fall down rather than twist it all the way up and give her these dog ears. Because just remember, when the client's looking in the mirror, they might be looking in the mirror for about half an hour, so you don't want them to be looking at all their flaws. And if you've given them dog ears, it's really going to accentuate that, okay? So just try to be careful. Then you're going to go in and match it on the other side. Again, use your finger to get nice clean sections. You have to be careful with the masks that people are wearing these days. It's a little bit tricky to get your sections in. Right, and now I'm going to introduce a stool, okay? So when we cut one-length haircut, sometimes you need, well not sometimes, you need to bring yourself down to the level that you're cutting on, okay? If you want to learn how to cut someone's hair down here and you're looking above, you're never going to be able to see if that's a straight line or not, okay? So you always need to make sure that you're bringing yourself down to where you're cutting. Does that make sense, yeah? So, now that I'm sitting on the level that I want to cut at, I'm now going to perform 2 diagonal forwards from my profile parting, okay? So, I'm going to take it about 1 inch from the hairline, and I'm taking it to the middle of the profile parting to the ear, okay? I'm then going to comb this hair through that I'm not using, and I'm going to clip it up out the way. Again, just twist it down so it buckles on itself, and then use one of the clips. And then again, when you're doing it on the other side, sometimes don't go from this side, go from where you've actually drew the first diagonal forwards, okay? And again, use your finger to move the hair in the right direction, okay? That's it, Any questions so far, guys? No? Okie dokie. Right, also want to just check for balance as well. So you want to make sure that your actual triangle, your roof shape, your diagonal forms are matching, okay? If they're slightly off, or they don't match, how are you ever going to get a straight line down here if this is all dodgy, yeah? So I do it a little bit differently to everybody else. I use my comb and my scissors to cut, okay? Especially on one length. So I'm going to go in with my scissors, I'm going to use my comb, and I'm going to comb it all the way down to natural fall. And Paige says she wants about two inches off. Yeah? Can you just make sure that your feet are nice and flat on the, that's it. Also, once we just make sure before we cut, if the client's legs are crossed like this, yeah, the haircut's going to be wonky. Alright, so we need to make sure before we cut, it's your responsibility as a stylist to make sure that they're sat nice and square in the mirror, yeah? Remember, the mirror is mainly there for you as a stylist and not for the client, yeah? It is there for the client as well so they can see themselves. But a lot of the time, the mirror's there so you can check your angles and you can check you're doing the right haircut, okay? Must remember that. Right, so we're going to go in. I'm going to use my comb and my scissors. I'm going to lift my scissors underneath the hair. I'm going to comb it down to natural fall. And I'm going to hold the scissors there. And I'm going to cut in between the comb. Making sure that my elbow and my hand isn't dropped, yeah? It's maintaining that strong straight line. And again, you're going to continue that motion, keeping parallel to the client. And then go again on the other side just to make sure you haven't missed any. And there you go. Then you need to obviously push your comb into the other hand and use your two hands to check the balance of the length, okay? What you mustn't do is use your eyes and watch it because your eyes naturally will fall down together and follow it. So just look away and then just run your fingers through a couple of times just to check that we're on the right line. Cool. Right, so now we're going to move on to our next section. So you're just going to repeat this section until you reach the occipital bone. Going to comb this through.